Alright guys, so before you get into the video, I've already recorded it and everything, it's good. I just want to go ahead and let you guys know beforehand that the audio in a second is going to sound terrible. I was like recording the input and the output at the same time, something like that crazy, and it kind of sounded like a robot, but it sounded like two robots. Don't worry, you can understand everything I'm saying very clearly. It's just it might be like a little to you. And it's a 40 to this is because I mean it probably looks better. It's on a computer, obviously. I mean, you can probably already see here I have pictures, so it's not as bland as my other videos where it was just white and then the picture. I mean, I will go through and I'll watch all my videos, not only to get the watch time and the like and everything, but because I mean, if I'm watching my video and I'm bored, then the person who's watching the video is probably bored. And a lot of things I was bored with is because, I couldn't see anything. So, I went ahead and started. I went ahead and I changed everything now on Google Drive. And I know there's all this garbage outside of it, but I mean, if you just ignore all this and it's just more stuff to look at, we can get started. Alright, so the way I'm going to do this is I have every team set, right? And if you notice, I have colors like dark red means they're the worst. Light red means that they're still probably really, really, really bad, but they're just, a little bit better. And then I've got dark orange, light orange, to dark yellow, light yellow, and then finally I've got dark green and light green. So, I mean, it adds that. And also, I'm just going to be pulling them down, too, to kind of add to the mystery. Alright, so, number 32, we've got the Bengals, of course, always number 32. So, the Bengals, they don't really have, a standout tight end. They don't really have, like, looking at their three, because I went and I looked at the top three tight ends on their depth chart, and I mean, really, they've got C.J. Uzoma, Drew Sample, and Keith Carter as their top three. And I understand they're probably only using C.J. Uzoma, but really, they all three have really low averages, yards averages. All three of them didn't get very many catches last year, which shows me that they probably got rid of their number one, what's it called? Their number one tight end. And I mean, it doesn't look very. I mean, combined, they all have only 3 touchdowns. C.J. Uzoma having 2 and Keith Carter having 1. Drew Sample having 0. So I mean, they really just seem bottom of the line to me. All right. And in 31, we have the Jets, another pretty bad team with apparently pretty bad tight ends. We have Ryan Griffin, Chris Henderson, and Daniel Brown. Now, Chris Henderson and Daniel Brown only got 8 catches combined. 1 catch and 7 catches respectively. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that they got Ryan Griffin, but they didn't have him last year. So they did add him. If they didn't have Ryan Griffin, they would easily be 32. But I mean, even Ryan Griffin, 34 catches, 9.4 yards per catch, which is not very good. Looking at the other players, he did have 5 touchdowns, which is keeping them above 32. But still, I mean, it's really just not impressive, these teams down here. Alright. Also, I want to thank you guys for all the great responses to my video I did. It was just looking at funny comments, and a lot of my comments are negative, so a lot of people were saying, hey, ignore them, which, I mean, really it isn't a problem, not being like, oh, no, I feel. Anyways, 30, since they got rid of Jason Witten, the Cowboys have fallen down to 30. Let me find them real quick. Alright, so they got Blake Jarwin, Dalton Schultz, and Blake Bell. And I mean, the bottom 2 tight ends a lot of times are people that I don't even think fans of like the Cowboys. A lot of fans of the Cowboys probably don't even know who Dalton Schultz or Blake Bell are, and they both only have 9 catches combined and 0 touchdowns. Blake Jarwin, on the other hand, he has a 12-yard per reception, but only 3 touchdowns. And I mean, Dalton Schultz only 1 catch last year. And I mean, they've only got 1 Blake Jarwin, and I mean, he's not even that well. they gave Jason Witten to, I think, the Raiders. So, I mean, really, the Cowboys just not impressing me. 29th, the last of the absolute disgusting bottom of the line. Dark red, we have the Panthers. They released Greg Olsen, and that was, what kind of smashed them. They had Ian Thomas, Seth DeVolves, and Chris Manhertz. And I've only heard of Chris Manhertz because 2 years ago, when they were playing against the Saints, I remember it was like a Monday night game. And it was a game, actually. The Saints were really good. The Panthers were on that time, but they lost 7 games in a row or some crap. And Christian McCaffrey actually threw a touchdown pass to him. Last year he only got 1 catch. Ian Thomas, and the only reason that they're where they are right now is because they've got 2 tight ends with double-digit receptions, which is the first out of the 3 that we've seen before. The 3 before we've seen before only had 1 and possibly 0. But he only had 8.5 yards per catch, and only 1 touchdown. And 29 just seemed like the right place to me. This all place they don't have very standout. They either got rid of their main tight end. They're in some situation where they are not very good at the moment. This is May 25th, by the way. May 26th, sorry. So, I mean, if anything's going down after this, like the Panthers re-sign Greg Olsen, I don't know, then let me know. All right. I'll probably figure it out. Colts down here. They have 3 people who were on the team last year: Jack Doyle, Trey Burton, and Mo Alley Cox. They have 2 players who have multiple 2-digit receptions. They have the first player who had to have more than 30. Jack Doyle has 43 catches for 10.4 average. They've also got the first 2 players who have multiple digit average yards per reception. And I mean, that impresses too. One of the reasons they're only 28th is because Jack Doyle is the only tight end that they had last year who had a touchdown, and he had 4 out of 43 catches. So, I mean, definitely not down here, but they're definitely not, up at the top over here. So, let's see who is in 27th. Ta-da! It's the Vikings. Boo, boo. You're so garbage. I can hear my brother playing basketball outside. I want to go join him, but I can't. Kyle Rudolph. Everyone knows who Kyle Rudolph is. I mean, he's right here. You've been staring at him for the last however long this video is, man. I also like this because I can't see how long my video is, and that's what always pained me. It's like, I would go and be like, oh no, this video is so long, I need to stop. I would hurry things up, but not with this. Right? And they have the first team that have 2 tight ends with over 30, Kyle Rudolph and Irv Smith. They have Tyler Conklin with 8 catches. So it's a step up, definitely. There's a pretty big divide in between 28 and 27. They're going from like something happened, they got rid of their tight end, they're in some bad situation, to just like they're not impressing me really. Kyle Rudolph, he had that big game around Christmas either this year or a year ago. And other than that, he's been, I know because I remember when I was like, how can you not find Rudolph on Christmas? It was a dumb quote, but I mean, I liked it. Irv Smith, one of the other reasons they're down here is because none of them have the best yards per reception they have is Kyle Rudolph, of course, with 9.4 yards per reception. So they don't have any double-digit yards per catch. So, and that might have something to do with how Kirk Cousins was playing. But we don't base that off here. So, let's see who is in 26th. Let's see. It is the Giants. All right. I could only find 2 of theirs. They have Evan Ingram, of course, and Caden Smith, both of which having at least 30 catches. don't know why I'm using that as such of a good marker. They both have 3 touchdowns. Evan Ingram has 10.6 receptions, not receptions, yards per catch. Caden Smith with 8.6. I mean, really, it's above them definitely, but it's not very good. Evan Ingram. And this might another thing. All of this has to. I mean, if you look at these, you got Andy Dalton, you've got Sam Darnold, you've got Dak Prescott, you've got Cam Newton, Kyle Allen, you've got whatever their backup was named, you've got Eli Manning and Daniel Jones. All but one of these teams really had all of these teams I've said so far, except for the Vikings, had pretty terrible quarterbacks. So that might have something to do with it. But all I'm looking at the stats, and I'm saying these are what I'm saying. All right, let's see. The Dolphins, another team, they didn't even have a quarterback last year. Well, they're switching between a lot of them, but they managed to get to 25th, which is better than a lot of people. So they've got Mike Gesicki, Durham Smythe, and Chandler Cox. Mike Gesicki, Chandler Cox, they both got 6 touchdowns combined. Chandler Cox only has 11 catches. Durham Smythe 7 catches. Mike Gesicki, the first player we've got so far with over 50 receptions, at 51, and he also has an 11.2 average. And this stands out to me because they only had Ryan Fitzpatrick and Josh Rosen as their quarterbacks. So that must mean that they are pretty good. I mean, if he's got one of the best looking stats lines of all of these, and really, the Dolphins up here, this is still pretty bad. Okay, this is still pretty bad. Okay, I mean, you don't want to be down here. You want to be, if anything, you want to be over here. This is the bottom half. You want to stay away from here. All right, here we go. And we are into the 24 to 17 range. All right, so the team in 24th is, I don't want to give a part of the other team's name away. The Lions. Ooh, we got the Lions. T.J. Hawkinson, Jesse James, and Isaac Nota. I don't know how to say that. T.J. Hawkinson has 11.5 yards per reception. None of them have very bad yards per reception, but combined, the 3 of them only have 2 TDs. T.J. Hawkinson hogging them all. But they do seem to be pretty well spread. They all have around the same catches, except for, of course, Isaac Nota. It's just not as bad as the other ones. This is like, it's like there's no way you could win a game. My phone's going off over there. With these, I don't know. I mean, the Vikings is just because they have a better team. This is like, you don't want to have this. This is no. Now this is when you get into like formidable. I don't know what I'm saying. These are like nearing average right here. So we've got terrible, below average to average, above average to good, great to top of the line. You get what I'm saying? I'm trying to say they're not terrible. They're bad. All right. Then we've got the Packers. All the NFC North, I think, are being packed into the very bottom. We got Josh. I could also only find 2 for them. I've got Josiah Deguara and Mercedes Lewis. Josiah Deguara having 7 touchdowns and the highest yards per catch we have so far, which is 12.9 yards per catch. 504 yards too. Mercedes Lewis has 15 catches, 10.4. So both of them have above double digits. Mercedes Lewis having 1 touchdown himself. It's just better than. It's not very good, but it's not down here material. All right. Also, you can probably tell the Broncos are going to be somewhere on this list because this guy's right here. Probably should have just put like random tight ends, but no, I had to go ahead and say, oh yeah, the Browns are down here, the Ravens are up here, the Vikings are up here, and of course the Broncos are over here. That was a bad idea. So now you know somewhere down here are the Broncos. If you're a Browns fan, you're probably already skipping until you see this. If you're not, I just gave you the idea. And if you're still not, then you're amazing. Alright, then we've got the Bills with Dawson Knox, who has the largest yards per catch we've seen at 13.9, Tyler Kroft with 11.8, and Lee Smith with 7.8. Tyler Kroft, 71 yards and only a few catches. All three of them have touchdowns. I mean, Tyler Kroft and Lee Smith only have 10 catches combined. Tyler Loft with 6 and Lee Smith with 4. And the fact that they got a touchdown with those numbers really boosted them up. And especially when you don't really have the best quarterback. Anyways, I just feel like this is around average. This is nothing to at. Alright, in 21, the Texans, a lot further down than a lot of people will be wanting. Darren Fells, Jordan Atkins, and Jordan Thomas. Jordan Thomas only with 1 catch, so I kind of just set him to the side. When you've only got like 1 catch or 2 catches, unless you get a touchdown or you get like a 50-yard catch, I kind of just ignore you. Darren Fells with 7 touchdowns, Jordan Atkins with 2 touchdowns. This is starting to look like real pretty good stuff. Now he's jumping on it. Never mind. My brother's insane. Alright, so then Darren Fells and Jordan Atkins, Darren Fells with 34 catches, Jordan Atkins with 36. So this shows me that they have a 2 tight end system. They're throwing to 1 tight end just as much as they are throwing to the other. And that boosts their not so great stats up a whole lot. And by a whole lot, I mean like they would be where the Lions are if they didn't have because a lot of these teams, the problem is that they only have like 1 tight end. They obviously are using 2 tight ends, and this should really help because their wide receiving unit took a hit this offseason. If you don't know why, I was gonna say why, but if you don't know that DeAndre Hopkins got traded at this point, I don't know what your problem is. And there we have it, folks. The Broncos, all the way up at 20. This is a pretty average team, I would say. I mean, they're nothing special. They got this right here. I'm trying to find them. This is a picture of Noah Fant, by the way, or at least an image result for Noah Fant, I should say. Speaking of him, we've got Noah Fant, Nick Vannett, and Jeff Huerman. And I do like that Nick Vannett. They don't have, of course, I mean, obviously Noah Fant has more catches, but they're bringing in Nick Vannett, and he got 17 catches wherever he was. I mean, they don't have any bad yards per reception. They've got 14.1 yards per reception for Noah Fant. Noah Fant is one of the tight ends that, I mean, you kind of know his name when you say it whenever you hear it, and he doesn't have bad stats like Mr. Kyle Rudolph. So, I mean, up at 20. I don't have a lot to say for a lot of teams. I mean, it's just they have better stats than the other people behind them. All right, entering, I guess the Broncos started at the top 20, and now we have the Redskins with what's my bad with can't remember the guy's name. Somebody when Vernon Davis retired. Vernon Davis was good. He had that whole thing where he jumped over. Do you remember that in the Eagles game? He jumped over a Eagles player and ran in a. It was like one of the best players. Actually, NFL had it at like the 96th best play of the decade, which is pretty good for the Redskins last year. And then I thought it was funny because in week 3 he tried to do the same thing, but what happened was he jumped and the Bears player just stopped, so he hit the ground. So and you gotta understand, this is realistic. I'm trying to be unbiased with these. I'm a Redskins fan myself, so like anytime like I feel like there should be 16, I put them at 19. I'm like, Carson, your bias is taking over. I mean, I would love for them to be number 1. but it's just not going to happen. So we're going to take Jeremy Sprinkle, Logan Thomas, and Hale Hinches. Logan Thomas being brought in from a distant planet. Hale Hinches really showed himself in that last game against the Cowboys. Got a touchdown in that one, I think. But yeah. And Jeremy Sprinkle, I have a feeling that he's going to step it up. He played pretty well. Actually, at the game I went to, which was against the Panthers, because I live in North Carolina, he caught a pretty nice long pass for like 25 yards or some crap. It was pretty cool. He's only got 9.3. He's got 9.3 yards per reception. Hale Hinches has 12.9, and Logan Thomas has 10.8. All three of those are pretty good. All three of them have one touchdown. So I think I think all three of these have. I think they can all step up and take Vernon Davis' place, which is why they're 19th. They could easily have gone down here into like a bad situation. Alright, then we've got the Steelers. C.J. Scott, I think I already memorized his name, is going to be happy about this. Because normally I have his Steelers like in the 20th or something. Either that or he's going to be angry that they're not in first, alright? You always have to try to please C.J. Scott. I'm name dropping him. Alright. Sorry, I had my notes caught under. They brought in Eric Ebron last year, Vance McDonald, and Zach Gentry. Zach Gentry, he had one catch, so I kind of threw him out. I mean, I kept him there as like a little footnote just in case I needed a tiebreaker, but really, I didn't. All right, and then we got Vance McDonald, who had a nice stiff arm play 2 years ago. I think it was against the Buccaneers. He's pretty good. Eric Ebron and Vance McDonald both had 3 touchdowns. Eric Ebron, though, 12.1 yards per reception. Both having multiple touchdowns. I mean, they seem to have 2 formidable tight ends on there. And I mean, if I really wanted to, I could say Zach Gentry brings him down a bit, but I'm not. I mean, he only had 1 catch for 4 yards. I'm not gonna. He's not included on this. Maybe next year, because I am definitely going to see him next year. Alright, I can make it sound much as I want, can't I? Falcons. This is probably I've only done wide receiving and running back, but this might be as high as they get. Oh wait, no, never mind. I think in running back I had him like at 7th because of Todd Gurley. Whatever. The Falcons. I don't know why I talk anymore. The Falcons with Hayden Hurst, Kerry Lee. It's Khari. I don't know how to say that. And Jaden Graham. Kerry Lee. Hayden Hurst and Kerry Lee both were not on their team last year. Kerry Lee only having 1 catch, so he was more up there like on my noticeable. Like I didn't completely throw him out the window. I just kind of threw him at the wall. He wasn't out of the room completely. If that makes any sense, because they got him, which means that he must have showed something when he got those 5 yards. I don't know if they he caught the ball 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage and ran it up. I don't know. But anyways, Hayden Hurst, 11.6 yards per reception, 30 catches. I mean, looking pretty good, 349 yards. Jaden Graham, 9 catches, a touchdown, 149 yards, 17 yards per reception, 16.6 mean average. That helps them out a lot. The fact that they have someone who gets 17 yards every time they catch the ball, that is pretty nice. Alright, now this is like the slightly above average area. You know, the Ravens are going to be somewhere up here, above average to good. Are they 16? Oh no, it's the Bears. Howdy there, Bears. How you doing? You are in 16th, right there in the middle, because you got Jimmy Graham, Demetrius Harrison, and, well, actually, okay, so you drafted Cole Kmet, who's probably the best tight end in the draft. He's just a rookie, and I mean, he's a really good rookie, great numbers I'm seeing, but it's the fact that he's a rookie, and I mean, there's draft busts every year. So if he's really good, I mean, y'all could easily be top 10. But if he's really bad, y'all could easily go back here. So, just saying, you guys go right here. I mean, Jimmy Graham is also pretty formidable. He's looking like 11.8 yards per reception, 3 touchdowns. I mean, you kind of look at Demetrius Harris, not Harrison, who was on your team last year, 15 catches for 3 touchdowns. You got 3 touchdowns and 15 catches. That's a 20% touchdown rate. Every single time you touch the ball, there's a 20% you're going to touch. I don't know, and then we've got 9.9 yards per reception. So, pretty formidable. I mean, this is a tight ends unit that, I mean, it's you can win games with this. Silence. And then we've got, I need to put like background music or something over my videos because, I mean, it's as silent for you guys as it is for me. Alright, and then we've got the Rams. Let's find them, shall we? Alright, they've got Tyler Higbee, Gerald Everett, and then they got the rookie Bryson Hopkins, who had 61 receptions. They have Tyler Bigbie, who had 69 receptions for 10.6 yards per reception. Bryson Hopkins, he just has he probably wasn't the best, but they're better than the Bears. All right. I don't know why that just moved, but I'm not gonna complain because in 14 my phone's freaking out. We have the Patriots. Wow, really high up here, aren't they? Probably higher than most people would dare put them. Matt Lacoste, Devin Asiasi. Because I also take Spanish, I know that Asiasi is so in Spanish. Like, how you doing? Asiasi, like, how you doing? So. I don't know. I just thought that was cool, you know. I know Spanish. Not really. He's a rookie. Dalton Keene, he's a rookie. So they got 2 rookies on their team. Both with great stats, right? So rookies, I say they're bad, but they're also good because they're kind of like in limbo. They, like the Patriots, they could be boosted in the top 10. Patriots, they could be, I'm not going to click back onto it, but they could go back to bottom of the barrel. All 3 of these teams have rookies, just the Patriots have more of them. So I feel like, I mean, there's a chance. And also, Matt Lacoste doesn't hurt them. 13 catches for 1 touchdown, 10.1 yards per reception. So, I mean, you can't argue with the Patriots right now. It's just the fact that their quarterback is terrible. Next year, they'll probably be down at the bottom. All right. And here they are, the team that we all knew was going to be on here. The Ravens. This right here that you're looking at is Mark Andrews, number 80. He had 64 receptions, 13.3 yards per reception. Then we got Nick Boyle, 31 receptions, 10.4 yards receptions. Might I add that Mark Andrews had 10 touchdowns last year. Now, they also have a rookie, Charles Scarf, 43 catches, 11.6 yards per reception. So we've got basically average. We've got the 4 teams with really good rookies on them. Some of these teams had rookies on them, but they weren't notable. All right. Moving on to 12. At this point, I'm just saying the team and saying their stats, basically. We have the Titans. Of course, the Titans are going to be up here. The way I do these is I just, like, put a team down. I do it like team... Never mind. I don't put the numbers down to the very end, so I didn't know they were going to be 12th until I looked at the very end. I was like, hey, they're 12th. But I'm not going to get mad at myself. We got Jonnu Smith, which, if you ever see someone named Lana Smith comment on one of my videos, that's one of my friends, using his mom's account for some reason. This is his favorite, NFL player. He had 12.5 yards per reception, 35 catches. Now, the Titans, they have Jonnu Smith, Anthony Firkser, and Michael Pruitt. All 3 of them have at least 1 touchdown, and all 3 of them have at least 12 yards per reception. Michael Pruitt had 15 yards per reception. Anthony Firkser, 14.6, and as I said, Jonnu Smith, 12.5. They don't have a rookie. All 3 of these guys are returning. And a lot of the Titans players are probably hurt by that first half of the season when they had Marcus Mariota. So 12th is the right place for them in my mind. All right. Just falling outside of the top 10, we have the Jaguars. What? Tyler Eifert, Josh Oliver, and James O'Shaughnessy. Shaughnessy, whatever. Josh Oliver only had 3 catches, 5 yards for receptions. So I mean, I didn't take him into much account. Tyler Eifert, new addition this season. 43 catches last year, 10.1 average, 3 touchdowns. James O'Shaughnessy, 14 catches, 10.9 yards per reception, 2 touchdowns. So while they are going to be tanking this season, I think that, their tight end core is one of the only working parts of the Jaguars. And, I mean, if they continue to be this good, I think if they have these same stats next year, they could be even higher. Because the fact that they are on the Jaguars and they are performing this well, really, I think that they're deserving to be in this good category. Alright, and 10th, entering the top 10, we have the Eagles. Alright. More wasted talent, as I always say when the Eagles are up high. We've got Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert, and Josh Perkins. Zach Ertz with 88 receptions, Dallas Goedert with 58. Both of those have around 10.5 yards per reception. Josh Perkins with 9.7. Zach Ertz had 6 touchdowns and 88 receptions, which is definitely not as good as the other guys. Dallas Goedert with 5 touchdowns and 58 receptions. I mean, both of these guys had really high numbers of receptions compared to the other guys, but they had around number of touchdowns. So they're not turning a lot of their receptions into touchdowns. They also only have receptions, which is kind of, I don't really blame them. I mean, when you're having a lot of catches, it's going to be really hard to keep that up there. But they are doing it. They're keeping it above 10. I mean, they're getting lots of receptions. So, I mean, they're in the top 10. Don't argue with that. They're pretty good. All right, number 9, the Chargers. Yippee! All right, they got Hunter Henry, Virgil Green, Stephen Anderson. Hunter Henry, 11.9 yards per reception. Stephen Anderson with 13.7 yards per reception. They added, no, they didn't. Sorry. And then all 3 of them have touchdowns. I mean, it's just a pretty good. I mean, I think they deserve to be 9th. Entering the very good category. And the Browns are going to be on here somewhere. Versus the Chargers. Because they definitely might over here. Well, I mean, if your team hasn't been mentioned yet, then they're in the top 8. Alright. In 8th place, we have the Raiders. Definitely helped out by Jason Witten. Jason Witten sends them flying. I mean, 63 receptions. He's doing amazing. Darren Waller with the most receptions we've seen so far at 90 receptions. And he kept it up high. He kept it at 12.7 yards per reception. That's pretty good. And he had 3 touchdowns. Which is not, if he had more touchdowns, bloop, top 3 potential. But get that out of there. No! I'm just trying to make sure that blue thing's not in the way. Now it's a long number. Anyways, number 7. Let's see. I think it's the Seahawks, maybe? Yeah, it's the Seahawks. Hey, Greg Olsen, freaking launch y'all up here. Freaking 52 receptions, 11.5 yards per reception. He only has 2 touchdowns, which is why, again, y'all are in the top 3. Y'all have Will Dissly, who has 4 touchdowns, 23 receptions, and Jacob Hollister, who has 41 receptions, 3 touchdowns. So, while Greg Olsen doesn't convert a lot of his receptions into touchdowns, it looks like a lot of these other guys do. And, I mean, that's really good. Number 7. Alright, just outside of the top 5, but still top-notch, are the Browns. Hey, no, we got this team out of the way. Now the other 5 are going to be a mystery. Oh, no. All right, the Browns. Austin Hooper coming over from the Falcons. David Njoku, always a beast. And Harrison Bryant, who had 1,004 yards, 7 touchdowns, 15.4 yards per reception, 65 catches. And I've never heard of this guy. This guy is a beast, Harrison Bryant. I mean, look at this man. He single-handedly launched in the 6th. Austin Hooper and David Njoku definitely aren't hurt either. Just David Njoku only had 5 receptions last year for a touchdown at least. Austin Hooper with 6 touchdowns. Harrison Bryant had 7 touchdowns. Just saying. Alright, into the top 5. At the very top of the dark green / very good, we have the 49ers. Wow. Alright, the 49ers. Let's take a look at the 49ers. They, of course, have the always great George Kittle, who had 1,053 yards. He had 85 receptions, and he kept his average at 12.4 yards per reception. Of course, 5 touchdowns. Charlie Warner with a touchdown and 9 receptions. That's pretty good. Ross Dwelley with 2 touchdowns and 15 receptions. This tight end core is, again, almost top of the line, but it's the fact that they are relying heavily on George Kittle, who is one of the best players in this league. If they had another good tight end, then they'd be higher. But really, this is, you can't ask for much more than this. For the Buccaneers. Alright, I almost forgot about them. They of course have Rob Gronkowski. Really, 14.5 yards per reception in 2018. Of course, I think. And then we've got O.J. Howard, who last year had 13.5 yards per reception and a touchdown. Cameron Brate, 36 receptions, 4 touchdowns, 311 yards. The only problem I have with this, the only reason they're not higher, again, you can't get much higher than this. If you want to get in the top 3, of course, the pedestal, the 3 best teams. But it's because I don't know if... Rob Gronkowski, obviously, he didn't expect to come back. He took a job, I remember him, I think it was on Fox or something. He was sitting around those tables talking to people. He was like a broadcaster. So obviously he didn't expect to come back. So I'm taking that he probably didn't he probably kept in shape, of course, but I don't know if he kept in as good a shape as he would if he knew that he was going to be coming back. So I don't know if he's going to be a little rusty or not. If he comes back and he's full-blown amazing Gronk, number 2, 1, probably number 2. I think if Gronk is good, then they're number 2. So if you're watching this in the future and Rob Gronkowski is MVP or some crap, just know, put him at number 2. All right. Then at number 3, we have the Cardinals. I didn't even know any of their names. Max Williams, Dan Arnold, Darrell Williams. Dan Arnold with 15.9 yards per reception, and Max Williams with 13.5. Max Williams touchdown, Dan Arnold 2 touchdowns, but Dan Arnold got 2 touchdowns in only 8 receptions, and Max Williams with a touchdown and 15 receptions. This is just goated right here. This is, they're converting catches into touchdowns very, very fast. If the team just passes to them more, I think that the Cardinals could explode. I didn't look at targets on this, so for all I know, they do throw to them a lot. Just, Kyler Murray doesn't hit any shots. So, number 2, we have the Saints. And, of course, by now, if you've been keeping track, you know what the number 1 team is. But I'm not going to spoil it for those of you who haven't. I haven't, of course. I've probably already forgotten. In fact, I know I have. All right, and we've got the Saints. Let's find them. All right, Jared Cook with 16.4 receptions. Average receptions, 43 receptions, 705 yards, 9 touchdowns. Josh Hill, 9 receptions, 3 touchdowns, and 25 catches. Those 2 are amazing, great, enough to get them into at least the top 16, top half of the league. And then they add in a rookie, okay? And I think if this rookie had the same stats that he had, he has 70 catches, 14 touchdowns, 13.1 yards per reception, then they would be number 1. The fact that he's a rookie, so they sit at number 2. And then, of course, in number 1, as you all probably expected, it's the Chiefs. Here they are, smiling at you through my screen. Travis Kelce, Ricky Seals, Deion Yelder. Travis Kelce with 12.7 yards per receptions, and he kept it up through 97 receptions, 5 touchdowns, 1,229 yards. Ricky Seals Jones, apparently, 16.4 yards per reception, 4 touchdowns in 14 receptions. Then we got Deon Yelder with 16.7 yards per receptions. Just amazing, top of the line. Number 1 tight end core, we have the Chiefs. I'll go back through. Number 32 Bengals we got Bengals, then Jets, then Cowboys, then Panthers, then Colts, then Vikings. Okay, 32 Bengals, 31 Jets, 30 Cowboys. You all can see it. Just take a few more looks at it. All right. If you forgot what your team is, here's your chance to look at it. Take this time right now in the end screen to go ahead and write up your angry comment about how your team was number 3 instead of number 1. Or, as I'm sure I'm going to be receiving soon, number 18 instead of number 6. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure, I don't know if y'all noticed this. I put an end screen on my videos now. I don't know if it'll